Good afternoon, members of the media. Your sound bite is all right?
Very good.
You okay now?
Yeah.
Right. Well, we just concluded a few minutes ago a full one-day national consultation on the question of special needs of children in relation to the education system. We all know that from research we have close to about 30% of the student population with some degree of special needs from varying ranges, and if the birth rate is approximately 17,000 per year, every year we possibly have close to about 5,000 children with some degree of special needs. And these range between the visual, auditory, the visually impaired, the hearing impaired, the motor disturbances, neurologic, emotional, behavioral and psychological abnormalities, Down syndrome, dyslexia, autism, attention deficit syndrome or attention deficit disorder, and behavioral and psychological abnormalities. So it was a day where over 450 organizations, NGOs, CBOs, individuals, parents came together with Ministry of Education officials to share their views and their ideas on the way forward for these students with special needs. We have approximately 22 schools in the country taking care of some of these students, but only approximately about 2,000 students are taken care of by this method. So a wide range of recommendations were made on the way forward, and this involves setting up centers throughout Trinidad and Tobago, first of all determining the incidence and prevalence of these various disorders and disabilities. On a first pilot project that we are doing with the IADB, the Inter-American Development Bank, which will kick off probably in another 2 weeks, where we will determine the true incidence and prevalence of these special needs. And based on that, we will move to the wider school population of the 17,000 students on an annual basis. While we're gathering this information, we'll be having an inter-ministerial type of collaborative system between the Ministry of Health, Gender Affairs and Child Development and the Ministry of People and Social Development. And we considering now setting up some centers throughout each one of the districts in Trinidad and Tobago, and staffing these centers with the resources that we require in terms of the human resource capabilities of educational psychologists, behavioral psychologists, clinical psychologists at these centers. And while we improve the amount of special education teachers in the schools, together with strengthening the student support services of guidance counselors, school social workers and guidance officers. So it's a multidisciplinary approach that we're going to be working with, and an inter-ministerial approach and a collaborative approach between the various stakeholders in Trinidad and Tobago. We have captured all the information which they have shared with us, and we are going to continue to share our way forward with them, so that pretty shortly we'll be moving headlong into dealing with the students with these special needs from throughout Trinidad and Tobago.
Minister, could you give us an idea who attended these forums?
There are about 25 associations and non-governmental organizations, over 150 individuals who are parents and of a lot of children with these disabilities. And then there was a strong team from psychologists, 1 or 2 speech therapists, and we had people from Dyslexic Association, Autistic Association, Down Syndrome, and a number of special education centers throughout Trinidad and Tobago.
Minister, in the feedback sessions, how would you assess the response from the participants?
Very rewarding. The response was very rewarding from the participants when they engaged in the discussions with amongst the 450 plus participants here today. Very meaningful contributions with a range of recommendations which we are going to actively put into place and implement.
You're satisfied that the expertise that came out today can be used beneficially to put the system forward?
There was tremendous expertise available at this consultation, which we are very grateful for their participation, and they have given us the collaborative associations that we can work with to the benefit of the students. But the important aspect now is getting the empirical data to substantiate the way forward, and this is what we are engaging in at the moment.
Honourable Minister, will the Ministry continue to have such consultations?
We want to have such a similar consultation in Tobago, and we will be interacting with the various stakeholders who participated today in meetings subsequent to this.
Is the first time that this kind of activity is taking place?
My understanding is that this is the first type of stakeholder meeting nationally on the special needs, as far as I am aware. That will be of meaningful contribution to the future in terms of helping us determine the way forward on this issue.
Honourable Minister, could you give us an idea as to when the consultation will take place in Tobago?
I would say possibly even another month from now, after we have summarized what we have received today and what we have begun to implement, so that when we go to Tobago we will be able to tell them a lot more than we have been able, from what we have been able to ascertain today. Thank you.